Spotlight, and we're coming to you here tonight. This is February the 10th, 2026. It is 8:17 p.m. Central Standard Time. I want to give you some thoughts tonight about the return of Babylon, or the revival of Babylon, or the Babylon of the end times. Now, this we do know. Revelation 17 and many other places talks about Babylon in the end time. And Revelation 17 talks about mystery, Babylon the Great. And we know that Babylon's going to fall in the end time. We know that there's more than one entity of Babylon. We know that there's the religious side headed up by the false prophet, one of the two beasts that's going to arise during the tribulation. And the other is the political side headed up by the Antichrist. See, a lot of people don't understand that. And the false prophet is not the Antichrist. He's going to aid and push up the Antichrist. And just like the Holy Spirit, exalts Christ. Okay, that's the false trinity. Satan represents God the Father. Antichrist represents Jesus, and the false prophet would be the Holy Spirit of the Trinity. Okay, Satan's false trinity. I've written about this in many of my books. And okay, so I had a few thoughts here I want to share with you, and we talked about some of this in a TV show that we just recorded that'll air in a few weeks. But this thing about Babylon, this thing about the mark of the beast and the one world system and the Antichrist being able to control all buying and selling. Nobody could have understood that 50 years ago. Nobody. And the truth is, it's hard to comprehend now. But I want to give you a few reasons why in our generation, and these are signs of the times now, why in our generation it's obvious that some pretty big things have happened to make it possible or seeable that the Antichrist can pull this off. There's some things that have changed in our generation that make it, quite obvious that the Antichrist will be able to do these things. First of all, number one, the Babylon of old. Remember in Genesis chapter 11, we have the first attempt of mankind at a global government, a one world global system. The first attempt was way back in Genesis chapter 11 with a man named Nimrod. And if you read the passage, you'll find that it wasn't just Nimrod. The people demanded that they build this thing. And the people wanted this one world system. They wanted a one world leader. Let me say this. The world is crying out right now for somebody to come on the scene and be the leader of the world and straighten out the mess that we have. Now, the current conservative group has somebody else in mind. The liberal, godless crowd, they have something else in mind. And I think each group wants their guy to rise up and take out the other side. Well, the Antichrist is going to come on the scene right after the rapture, so all the good will be gone, all the righteous will be gone, and he's going to rule over everybody. Now there'll be a remnant, but it's going to be very difficult. So for right now, I think a lot of the right-wing people are looking at Donald Trump as possibly the leader that has come on the scene to save the world. And you can laugh at that, you can reject that, you can scoff at it. But the truth is Donald Trump is kind of leading the world. And Donald Trump has made a huge difference. Now, he's not God, we don't even know if the man's saved. I hope that he is, but I don't know, So it's very interesting what's going on. But we know that the Babylon were the first attempt at one world government And a one world leader was Genesis 11. And how did God stop that? He simply confounded the languages. He gave different languages to the different groups of people there. They could no longer communicate, and they all separated and went their way. That was it. Now, that can't happen this time. Well, why is that? Because we have things today that take care of that problem. We have, if you've ever watched a hearing or a speech at the United Nations, you'll see people with these headsets on, sitting in the members of the United Nations Council there, and that's because they don't speak the language of whoever's speaking. For instance, if somebody is speaking English, the people of other countries can't understand English. They have the headset off. So what happens is, as he speaks, there are interpreters that are interpreting into their headset exactly what is being said. We also have electronic devices. You can have on your phone now, there are apps that will translate what somebody's saying to English on the spot. And you can speak back to them and it will translate to them. So the language barrier doesn't exist in these last days, does it? And so that problem's solved for the globalist thing. We also have this. How about distance? In Babylon's days, you had to be there. When they're building the tower, you had to be there. It meant nothing if you were 100 miles away. You had to be there. That obstacle's been taken away. Distance doesn't matter anymore. People don't even go to work anymore. They work from home. They have their computer and they do their job without ever leaving their living room, their house. And or if a world leader is leading the world and he wants to speak, we're all tied together by internet, satellites, and all this. And he can speak to everybody around the world. And to some degree, that happens now. A guy can give a speech. Any news people that want to can film that and relay that live back to their country. And with satellites, it's even more so. So distance is not an obstacle to the one world system anymore. Language is not a barrier anymore. Distance, it doesn't matter where you are. You can be led and governed by a one world leader today. Number three, what about money? How do all the people of the different countries, how do we handle the financial aspect here? Not a problem. That's already been taken care of. We're already a digital system, worldwide digital monetary system. Yes, we still have cash. Yes, Russians still have cash. Chinese still have cash. And that's okay. Doesn't matter. The digital system is there. When you buy something on the internet, you don't stick dollars through your modem on your computer, do you? No, you press some buttons, it comes out of your bank account or your credit card, checking, whatever you want it to. It's digital. And by the way, if you're buying something from another country, like China, you'd be shocked how many of us, how many transactions are Chinese goods that are being bought. What do? Do you have to run to your bank, change your money over into Chinese money? Or if you're buying something from Russia, do you have to go exchange your dollars for rubles? No, you don't do anything. You do the same thing. You type in, I want to buy that item. Here's my credit card or my banking information. Click send. Hey, I've bought it. All right, it'll be shipped. It'll be shipped tomorrow. I'll have it in a week. It's digital. Okay, so the whole world is already tied together financially in a digital system. Wait till the one currency comes along. It'd be a piece of cake to just implement that. All right, what about religion? How does the false prophet operate during the one world system? Very simply, through the same means that the Antichrist will. He's going to have internet, he's going to have satellites, going to have cell phones. He's going to have all the media through these mediums of internet going to transmit his religious message to the world, just like that. You know, it's already happening to some degree. You've got churches that do Facebook Lives, YouTube Lives. You've got television. You've got churches that are on TV. Now they don't have a worldwide audience, of course, but that can change awful fast, right? Once the man of sin's in charge, and there won't be no more Christian broadcasting. Now, sad to say, many of the religious programs will probably still be on the air after the rapture because, well, I guess you can figure that out, right? Sad. One more thing I want to add here before we go. So, this one world system that they made an attempt at in Genesis 11, it was ended simply by God bringing different languages in so that they couldn't communicate and they all dispersed and went their ways. Um, those obstacles that existed then do not exist now. The obstacle of language, the obstacle of you have to be on site to know what's going on. That's not true anymore. You don't have to leave your house to be part of this one world system and to get the information that they're pumping out to you. Buying and selling, piece of cake. You don't even have to leave your house. Just got to have an internet connection or satellite, whatever. How do we get our religion? How do we get our marching orders from the false prophet? Very simple, same way. And lastly, Trump's Board of Peace seems like it could have a big part to do with this mystery Babylon, the Babylon of the end time, the one world system falling into place. I'm not saying that Trump's the Antichrist. In fact, I don't believe that he is. And I don't believe that he means bad. I think he means good to bring peace with this thing. But the truth is, it's when you nationalize and when you federalize something, what happens when the federal government takes over something? Churches used to be the places that were there for the poor and the needy and for housing, and it was the churches that took care of that. The government took that over. Government has taken over our education system. It used to be churches and families and community, local communities took care of the educating of the kids. The federal government took it over. Let me ask you, is it better today than it was? Are you kidding me? It's a cesspool. We've thrown God out. We've thrown the word of God out. Kids today don't know if they're a boy or a girl, and they think they can change what they are. What's happened? Big government. Big government never does anything that's worthwhile, except the military. It isn't big government we need to bring peace to different places of the world. Now, sometimes you need military, but when you turn something over when you federalize it, it always goes downhill. Not right away, but it'll drift as the leadership of the leader, as the leaders change, go from Ronald Reagan to a Bill Clinton or Hussein Obama. That's how, see, it goes back, it swings back and forth, liberal, conservative, doing good, doing bad. And look at the fraud and the waste today. It becomes a great big behemoth. How do you oversee it? How do you watch over it? How do you keep it from getting corrupted? How do you stop the waste? No, it's true. Government workers are very wasteful. And yeah, so what I'm saying is this Board of Peace may start out good, but it sure looks to me like the makings of the 10 kingdoms that are coming under the Antichrist in the near future. And things are happening fast. You can't keep up. Now, the State of the Union is in 2 weeks from tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there and what new developments come out. Of course, 2 weeks is a lifetime. There's no telling what could happen between now and 2 weeks from now. So, all right, Babylon is rising. The Bible said it would. We know that the Babylon, the the things about Babylon, the system of Babylon is going to be um, what the statue is that stands upon its feet. Remember, the head of gold is Babylon, and it's going to have entities from all the kingdoms, Greece and Persia and Rome, are all going to be part of this statue that stands upon its feet and rules the world. One man will rule the world, and it's on the horizon. You can see it, and the board of peace sure looks like it's paving the way for some of that. All right, we'll end it there for tonight. Well, let's just have a quick look and see if there's any comments here. You're talking cash. Why are they trying to push this goal thing to have? Um, I'm not sure what you mean, Robert. Who's pushing the gold thing? The people pushing the gold thing are people who are selling gold. All these advertisements, all these things you're seeing, these are people who want you to call them or email them. They want to sell you gold to make money. And don't misunderstand that. And yes, a lot of people are buying gold and silver, and I understand. But the governments of the world are not pushing anybody to buy gold or silver. Now, governments are buying it because it's stability. And there's some nervousness in the world about what's coming, what's going to happen to the dollar, what's going to happen with this. Gold and silver are always stability. And so nobody is pushing anyone to buy it except people that are making money on it, right? Let's see. Can't trace cash digital. You can, and exactly right. And you can't stop somebody from buying and selling. If you can go in a parking lot somewhere, get out of your car, get some cash out, and buy something, nobody can interfere with that unless they drive by and see you and come arrest you. The digital, and that's why the digital system is going to be the system of the end time. And now the mark of the beast does not happen till the midpoint of the tribulation, where the Antichrist determines you have to have this mark and you can't buy and sell without it. That doesn't mean that we're not fully digital during the first half of the tribulation. We don't know if we'll be fully, but we know this. The world is already digital. There's not enough cash in any nation of the world to cover the digital dollars that are in the system. And it's complicated. It's hard to explain some of that stuff. And but there's no way that if they called in all the cash, it wouldn't even come close to what the actual digital footprint is of the money that's there. And okay. And I personally believe when they make the decision to go fully digital, they will give everybody a certain amount of time, 30 days, 60 days, whatever it's going to be. You'll have that amount of time to get your cash, go to a bank, deposit into the bank, and turn it into digital. And you'll never get any of that cash back. It'll be gone forever. You just like we do now. You go to the bank, you deposit. Maybe you have some cash and you need to get some checking money. You take $1,000, you deposit it. Well, you can go back tomorrow and get that 1,000 back if you want. But what I'm talking about is when you turn that into switch it to digital dollars, it's the same thing. You're simply depositing it into the bank. It goes into your checking account or your bank account as digital money, right? You can go on your computer, you can bring up your bank account. Oh, I have $2,800 in there. Well, you don't have paper money in it. It's digital, right? So you take your $1,000 in cash, you go to the counter, you say, put this in my account. They take the $1,000, of course, they count it in the machine there, and they deposit it in your account, and you walk away. Now you can go back and get some cash if you want a few days later. But when they switch over to all digital, you'll still do the first part. You will deposit in fact, you'll have so many days to do it. After that deadline, your cash will be of no value. It will be worth nothing. You'll have no choice. You'll have to deposit it into your bank and get digital dollars, just like we do now, only you could never get cash again. It'll be the end of it. And we'll have a credit card or something. And eventually, hey, let's put it in our right hand or in our forehead, right? And we can transact our business. The forehead's handy. Look at your screen and it picks it up off your forehead. Good idea, right? And but that doesn't happen. That's not. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It's not required. It's not mandatory until the midpoint of the tribulation, Revelation 13. Okay, so we are very close. Now, let me look real one more time here. I don't see anything else. All right. God bless. And listen, it's coming. It's happening fast. The Lord's coming soon. It could be this fall. And go watch episode 275 if you want to watch something very interesting about a timeline that I came up with for this year, this fall. All right. But until next time, keep your eyes on them skies.